Good day everyone. We will be discussing our case study analysis titled West Philippine Sea Dispute. So I'm April Izati Ocampo and I am going to introduce you to our case study analysis. So we will be discussing the introduction part, what are the problems caused by this conflict, what are the possible solutions, what are the challenges, and did the government acted, etc. So for now, I'm going to discuss the introduction part. So, yung West Philippine Sea po is ito yung tawag sa bahagi ng South China Sea na pasok sa EEZ ng Philippines or sa Exclusive Economic Zone. So, 200 nautical miles yung lawak ng ating EEZ means hindi natin inaangkin yung buong karagatan. Di tulad ng China na ginigii talaga nila almost 80 or to 90% pa ng buong karagatan. So, wala tayong sovereignty or ganap na kapangyarihan sa ating EEZ unlike sa usual nating territories. Pero meron tayong karapatan sa lahat ng makukuha natin dito tulad ng fishes and other resources. So, yan yung tinatawag naman natin na sovereign rights. And itong sovereign rights na to is sa atin lang to. Kaya nga exclusive eh. So, technically yes, we can share but if sobra-sobra yung yamang dagat na makukuha natin dito para sa isang bansa na nagmamay-ari nito. But of course, in our case or in the Philippines case, kulang pa nga and clear na bawal ito sa ating konstitusyon. And that is the case of the Philippines and China, including Russia, Vietnam, Taiwan, and Brunei, na kapwa umaangkin ng bahagi ng South China Sea. So, iba lang talaga yung trip ng China na even places like Recto Bank na tinatawag natin na malayo naman sa kanila and pasok siya sa EEZ ng Philippines is inaangkin din nila. So, now the question is, did the Philippine government acted? So yes, the Philippine government acted since noong 2013 is nagdemanda sila sa Permanent Court of Arbitration sa Netherlands. So ito yung court na namamagitan sa mga usaping pandagat. So lumabas yung hatol noong 2016 based sa nakasaad sa United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea or yung tinatawag nating UNCLOS. So ito yung kasunduan ng mga bansa tungkol sa mga rights nila sa karagatan or sa resources na meron nito. So, of course, permado ito ng Philippines and ng China. And sabi sa decision, malinaw na walang legal basis yung 9-dash line na tinatawag natin. Now, what is 9-dash line? So, 9-dash line is ito yung ginuhit nila na based sa historic rights para angkinin yung big part of the sea. So, hindi kinikilala ng China talaga yung arbitration ruling na favor in Philippines. But sadly, nananalo tayo. But sadly, even our government isn't fully supporting or advocating for a particular cause, particularly in terms of our winning against China.
And dahil nga po doon is, nireject nga po ng China yung ruling. Kaya nga po hanggang ngayon, nagkakaroon po ng tensions na nangyayari. Like yung China's po is mga Chinese Navy. Ang tensions po na nangyari is binubomba po nila ng water cannon, yung ating mga Philippine Navy, and also yung mga fishermen po natin pag lalapit po or mangingisda po doon sa mismong binabantayan po nila. Marami na rin po tayong nababalitaan na mga aggressiveness po na ginagawa ng China sa mga Pilipino. So next po natin, types of globalization. So first po, we have economic globalization. So alam naman po natin na yung West Philippine Sea po is meron po natural resources nga po katulad ng oil, fish, gas, and also ito po siya yung maritime trade route. So, kaya po napaka-halaga niya po. So, next po we have, so alam naman po natin na yung West Philippine Sea po is, meron po natural resources nga po katulad ng oil, fish, gas, and also ito po siya yung maritime trade route. So, kaya po napaka-halaga niya po. So, next po we have, political globalization. So, dahil nga po na-involve nga po doon yung mga other countries po na meron pong overlapping claims din nga po. So, doon po nakikita yung interconnectedness po ng mga countries para nga po masolve po yung ganitong problems. Aside from that po is yung involvement po ng international organization po katulad ng UN and yung Permanent Court of Arbitration po. Na-underscore po doon yung growing influence po ng global governance po in addressing territorial dispute. So, next po we have cultural globalization. So, ang dispute po is nagre-reflects po ng clash of historical claims and yung pag na-reach po nila sa and yung national identities. Kasi nga po yung China po, yung kanila po is naka-base po sila sa historical claims nga po. And yung sense po nila ng historical entitlement. Well, yung Philippines naman po is in-emphasize po dito yung rights po natin under po sa international law. Nare-respect po natin yung commitment to address po or yung role-based international order po. So, technological globalization. So, dito po is yung technological advancement po, katulad ng maritime surveillance po, mga military capabilities have play a significant role po and escalating tensions po. So, aside from that, yung China po, yung mga naval presence po nila and yung construction po nila ng artificial islands po. So, doon po nakikita po na yung impact po ng technological advancements po. Next po natin, how globalization enable the issues. So, dahil nga po sa West Philippine Sea, naging intense po yung China's growing influence po, na-improve po yung connectivity, and also na-increase po yung mga resources and demand dahil nga po sa globalization. Next po is yung countries fight po, kung sino po ba yung magkocontrol resources po. Next po yung dahil po sa tension and aggressiveness po ng China.
On this part, I'm going to discuss how globalization enabled the issue. So sa kasalukuyan, mas tumitindi yung issue ng West Philippine Sea dahil na rin sa patuloy na paglakas ng influence ng China. Pati na rin sa pag-unlad ng tinatawag nating connectivity or yung pagtaas po ng pangangailangan sa mga resources dulot ng globalization. So because of that, nagkakaroon ng competition yung mga bansa para makontrol yung mga yamang dagat tulad ng nangunguna dyan yung fishes. Next is yung mga langis, yung mga gas na matatagpuan dito sa rehiyon na to. So yung South China po is nagiging mas strategic at mas mahalaga sa mga bansa ngayon dahil sa mas pinahusay of course na communication and transportation. So ito yung nagiging sanhi ng pagdami ng mga territorial claims at hidwaan. So dahil sa mabilis na pag-angat ng military at economy ng China, mas tumitindi yung tension na tinatawag natin at nagkakaroon ng mas agresibong hakbang mula sa kanila. So yung matinding claims na to and action ng China ay nakakatanggap siya ng mga criticism mula sa ibang bansa at nagiging hadlang sa mga pagsubok na maresolba yung issue na to sa pamamagitan ng tinatawag nating global na pamaraan. On this slide, I'm going to discuss the key problems caused by the West Philippine Sea dispute. So first is it poses problems for the national security of the Philippines. Since due to China's aggressiveness, yung Philippines is nagpa-face siya ng threats sa sovereignty and sa territorial integrity. So there have been various incidents involving yung mga Chinese vessels and yung mga military activities sa area natin. In addition, sa maritime incidents na to, yung China is nag-construct na sila ng artificial islands. So yung situation na to is of course it weakens the country's defense capabilities, especially since yung Philippines is nagre-rely talaga tayo sa mga outdated equipment, etc. So yung China is na-obstruct na yung Philippines from conducting legal activities in the West Philippine Sea, such as even yung pagpapatrol natin sa mga resources exploration na meron tayo. So nai-interfere niya ito with the Philippines' right to freely navigate sa ating operating water. So, this interference challenges the Philippines. Yung Philippines in terms of ability to use and protect its maritime areas as permitted under international law. Second is, it impacts the Philippine economy. So, why? Of course, nabablock niya yung Philippine fishing vessels and nadi-disrupt niya yung ating exploration activities tulad nga ng sinabi ko before. So, by that, nare-reduce yung access natin sa resources and na-harm yung economic interest ng Philippines. So, yung mga fishing industry, alam naman natin na ito yung key livelihood in the Philippines. So, particularly, apektado itong livelihood na meron tayo na to. So, yung Chinese restrictions is present siya sa waters na kung saan nalilimit niya yung mga Filipino fishermen na mag-operate na nagli-lead siya sa economic losses. And number 3 is we have overlooked legal basis. So, bakit ba nilagay namin yung overlooked legal basis? So, yung Philippines po is nag-pursue siya ng legal action to resolve disputes, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina sa introduction, including yung significant 2016 na tinatawag nating arbitration case under the UNCLOS or United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea. Itong rule na to is, again, nagpe-favor siya sa Philippines. So, itong rule na to is ini-invalidate pa rin siya ng China. So, nag-claim pa rin sila na sa kanila yung West Philippine Sea. And despite our victory, is nag-enforce pa rin sila ng ruling nila. And napaka-challenging, no? Napaka-challenging to since yung China is, they still refuse to acknowledge it and continue to assert nga yung kanilang claims and mini-maintain pa rin nila yung mga activities in the area. Among the three issues, the most critical for further analysis is yung national security. Since as we all know, yung national security is the bedrock of a nation's stability and autonomy. And according sa United Nations, yung national security is described siya as the ability of a state na ma-protect and ma-defend yung citizenry. So yung China's aggressiveness and action, including yung mga military activities and yung mga construction nila ng artificial islands, it directly threatens the Philippine sovereignty and territorial integrity. So these actions challenge the country's control over its maritime territories, which is fundamental to national security. This vulnerability poses a significant risk sa nation's overall security since yung national security issues can have a broader regional implications. So mas nag-escalate yung tensions and yung potential ng conflict sa South China Sea and ma-undermine yung wider Southeast Asian region, affecting yung regional security dynamics and yung international relations.